All right, we're back. No idea what number we're on right now.
13?
14. That's my
14.
favorite number. Nice. We're back. New episode of Hills and Twos. I'm Tim.
I'm Shay.
I've done that in a while. The I'm Tim, I'm Shay thing.
Mm.
Anyway, we got a fun guest today. This will be a good time. We got Ben Crawford on tap. Thanks for hopping on, Ben. Very kind of you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited I could be able to get on this podcast.
This is gonna be a good one. Number one, you were a menace on Twitter today in terms of your likes. Because I'm scrolling through and I found the.
Oh, you're scrolling through my likes, man.
No, not scrolling through your likes.
They pop up.
Dude, I have a decent amount of people tell me that, and I'm just like, why does Twitter recommend me? But yeah, go on.
It was Megan Thee Stallion and someone from like the Goofy movie.
Goofy movie, yeah, bro.
I was like, who liked this? Why is this on my feed? And then it was said like by Ben Crawford.
Yeah, so that's so good. Yeah, I thought you were scrolling through my likes. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get canceled.
So what's going on, man? Where are you at right now? Where are you?
I'm in Eugene, Oregon. I just got back from Boulder, Colorado, like 2 days ago. We did our second annual, I guess, new gen camp. And then before that was just in Eugene for world champs and USAs and the high school outdoor nationals and NCAAs, pre-classic, all that. There was a little bit of traveling going on in between there, getting some content for the magazine and the YouTube channel. But yeah, been a whirlwind of the past, I want to say like 3 months, but settled in or getting settled in. I'm moving into a new place as we speak. It's gonna be me, Matt Wisner, and Carter Chrisman, kind of the two other main new gen guys living together. So yeah, just getting, like I said, getting settled in, back in the 541. Yeah.
So you guys are living in Eugene?
Zip code.
Yeah. The dirty Uge.
Yeah. What's the decision to stay there, like rather than move to like New York City? Or
there was definitely a little bit of talk, I think, from myself of, one, because I'm a diehard Mets fan. But
wait,
two,
Matt, let's go Mets, baby.
Dude, I'm a 7-line soldier.
After Shea Stadium.
How did that happen?
That I'll go on to this in detail later, but but yeah, just know I'm a 7-line soldier. But yeah, they nah, man, I think the idea to stay in Eugene was, I think Eugene is on the verge of kind of being rebirthed. And you think of the 3 major running cities in America, obviously it's Flagstaff and Boulder now, and then Eugene kind of a distant third. Historically, probably one of the better of the 3, but kind of as of right now, not really much of a pro scene. The collegiate scene is U of O, and I think with the new coaching changes coming into Oregon, there's some talks about some groups starting up, getting moved down, some other groups getting kind of finished, or I guess closed off, getting not on the chopping block. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, and I think it's in our best interest to stay where we've kind of planted these roots over the past couple of years and see it through, and hopefully be able to be a part of this revitalization of the city. Who knows what that means right now. I think there's still so much up in the air, but I think it right now it's kind of it's where we are. It's kind of where we're been doing all of our stuff. Like, why not at least see it through? But yeah, I think the only other real options probably would have been either New York City or maybe LA. New York, though, just was knocking at a lot of doors and they weren't really necessarily opening. So I think I kind of got the sign to stay in Eugene. But yeah, it'll be fun. The winter won't be fun, but the summer is beautiful, man. But yeah, that's kind of what the thought process was.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Newport Beach, California. So about 40 minutes south of LA, like 50 or 60 minutes north of San Diego. So in Orange County, yeah. So it's kind of right there. But it's like cool. Like I really like Southern California just because I think it's the source of everything. Like there's, every store is every brand is every company, like there's just entertainment wise, media wise, it's the source. And like it's just everything's there. And I think that it's alluring to want to go back there. But I also think, for what we're doing, you look at LA's running scene and even New York for the most part, it's not like we're really in is the competitive running scene of like professional collegiate type stuff. And in New York and LA, it's more so the common runner. I don't want to use the term hobby jogger because I feel like that's degrading in some ways. but I think that it's, the more so the social runner, actually, I would say. And so I think that it just wouldn't serve our purpose right now. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm flying out there like 6 a.m. tomorrow.
nice.
I'm flying.
You're from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Shay, where are you from?
I'm from upstate New York. I actually went to high school like 30 minutes north of Joe. So
Okay,
we
Niskayuna
kind of,
or
yeah,
Shane?
yeah,
I don't
Niskayuna.
know. I just learned how to say both those words before I look at them on a piece of paper and be like, how do you say this? Um, but yeah, man, there's also great running roots and heritage in the Northeast too, which is, kind of was excited to maybe venture out there, get my Met season tickets. But I think we'll definitely still be out. There's a lot of really cool running stuff going on back east too.
Yeah. New York and I don't know LA like firsthand, but firsthand I know New York is definitely more of that like social running, like less professionally driven and more like still like sub elite, like just the tier
Mhm.
under running wise. Like a lot of really solid marathoners, a lot of like
Tim Rossi
Central
vibe.
Park Track Club.
exactly, yeah, Tim's the man.
Tim is the man,
Um
bro.
I should have worn my Lost Boys hat for this one on my
Fly
hoodie.
the L. The
Um yeah, those guys are the man. We've never even really talked about them. But what do you think about like running groups like that, for lack of a better
I
term?
think it's really important. I think in cultivating that community in like post collegiate sense, where you look at like, okay, only like a dozen kids this year are going to go pro. I think that a lot of those groups are probably more so the millennial age group where it's like 28 to 35. But I think, maybe looking at that as an opportunity for other people to join those and run after college. But I think having the social thing is really fun. And super cool. And obviously, like, yeah, like what Tim's done with Lost Boys is like, it's just sick. Like printing their stuff on regular like Nike Elite kits, like stuff like that. It's just it's a rebel spirit, I guess you would say. But yeah, it's dope. I have never really been able to experience it in person in New York. But just seeing what they do on social media and stuff it's definitely like very refreshing, especially I would say compared to, they're definitely in New York is a way more competitive aspect to the social running scene versus LA. LA is like very communal, very like we're all going to run 9-minute pace together type thing versus New York. It's like, oh, there's like races, there's like these team championships.
Yeah,
Like,
like, oh, you ever seen OSR, like Orchard
yeah,
Street?
yeah.
That's so cool. The events they put on,
Mm-hmm.
so cool. Like the midnight race, like there's like a
Yeah,
midnight
the
half.
midnight half. Yeah, that was like wild. And so yeah, that stuff like,
Tracksmith too.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
very
very active in New York too.
yeah, very different in that sense. But hey, maybe I don't know, we're very West Coast based, but maybe we can make I think one of our goals is to get more established on the East Coast, Midwest, Great Lakes, Southeast. I don't know. But yeah, New York it's cool, great running spot.
Yeah. I guess before we get into it, you want to go listeners' questions, Shay?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I'll bump that out of the way right now. So
Dun,
we got
dun.
a couple, we got some good ones for you actually.
Okay. On short notice too.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
right.
hopefully the people came through.
Um, okay. Do you want to take the first one, the non-CBA one, Shay?
Sure, yeah. What point did you decide to go from making videos for fun to going all in, and why?
It's a good question. I think the time where I went like, I would say like after that Boulder summer when we were doing stuff during the pandemic, that was just kind of when a lot of things clicked. I'd always like been focused on it, but then it was like, oh, okay, this is more so like I can do more with this than just like make an Instagram video. I can do stuff on YouTube. I can, make different styles of things. But I'd say that, and then I'd say, you know, at least for photography, I was probably like my junior year of high school when I got hurt and realized I was better at taking photos than running. So I was like, oh, I'll just like keep doing this. And luckily my coach was a chiller, so he let me. But yeah, I would say with videos, probably after that Boulder kind of summer during COVID. And then again, probably yeah, actually, yeah, I would just say that. There's no like distinct time that sticks out to me. Because it's kind of always been something I've had on the forefront of my mind. But yeah, that was kind of when it went from a hobby to like, okay, maybe we could do this as something real and like a job.
Awesome. Okay, we got our second one. Shout out McCath. This is the head coach of CBA. Asked this one.
Okay.
So how will you continue to appeal to the younger running crowd as you grow older, and how will you continue to appeal to the fans as they grow older?
I think actually the camp is one of our, most sustainable efforts. As when we, let's say, get to 27 or 28 years old and we start to fall out of touch with the youth, and the next generation comes along. I think, we'll be able to pull kids from the camp and say, okay, hey, you manage the social media. Hey, like, you create this dope content, and continue to move more so in that kind of business mind, and letting those kids, have more control for the brand as we take more of a backseat and kind of facilitate that. And I think for the fans as they grow older, like, just keep doing stuff that is with the athletes that they've enjoyed watching and kind of came up watching. Let's say, in 10 years, we'll still do Cooper and Cole content, but we're going to do, whatever there might be another Young brother by then, or another Salmon brother. But we'll create content of that too for the younger kids. So I think it's just keeping, in an abstract way, almost knowing that there's always going to be a new guard of people coming in. And always creating content with and for those people. So yeah, that's one thing that the camp has really helped us with is, we have a farm system essentially of kids that can come in almost every year, and we can not only help them get their foothold and get work, but also, use them for stuff that we want to do, and have them work with us. So yeah, definitely trying to be sustainable.
Yeah. So I guess on the tail end of that, what is, like, in your mind, what's the future of New Gen look like? And also, before you answer that, how would you categorize or describe New Gen to someone who doesn't know what it is?
I've had to do this a lot this summer, and honestly, it's like such a.
Is it a magazine? Is it a content?
I'd say it's
Culture.
somewhere. It is culture. I'd say it's somewhere between a creative agency and a marketing company.
Okay, all right.
And a marketing agency. I think creative and marketing agency. Where it's like, we have a team of, hold on, someone's calling me. I gotta see who the hell it is. Oh no, sorry, Lauren Moody. Damn. But yeah, they ended up basically like, yeah, we have, in terms of marketing, we can do stuff with brands where it's like, here's a Nike Streak Fly video. We can promote that. We can promote your athlete. We can, promote a product. We can promote an event. We can do it. We can put on events, like with the Tracktown Pizza thing that we did over World Championships. We can, put on races and have that. We can bring the community together, but then it's okay. We can also create a magazine. We can do a ton of YouTube videos. We have this camp where it's like, brands can also hit us up and be like, hey, we're doing an event in X city on X date. Who can we use for this? Like, do you have a photographer to use for this? Or like X brand is hiring interns, and they can say, hey, who do you want? Like, here's who applied. Who would you pick? Who would be your 3 finalists? And so we can almost consult in a way too. But I think I would say it's just an agency, whether it be marketing, creative, or consulting, just a lot of different things. But also, I mean, for tax purposes, it's technically e-commerce, because that's where I guess the bulk of our revenue will come from, is online sales and other things. But I would say a brand agency, because we'll also want to do merchandise. And I think that's also a strong suit, is like, we're not really able to be clearly defined. Like, we have our fingers in so many different areas that it's like we can, kind of do something different at a moment's notice, and it's not going to throw people off. We can do something that's like, oh, they just do stuff like that. But yeah, that's more or less how I would describe it.
Gotcha. So then what is
Would
that?
you,
Sorry.
would you guys down the line like want to be sponsored by a specific company? Just like
I
one
think
company
that's
in
something
particular?
we've like really been coming to terms with recently, especially after these World Championships, where a lot of brands were in Eugene, and we were getting to get some valuable face time with some people. And I really think it would have to be like a crazy offer, because for us, more than anything, it's not about the money, it's about the creative freedom. Because if we go with a brand and they're not able to there's too much red tape or too much compromise, where we can't create a product that really like is sick and is different and kind of have to fall into line with everything else, like then we go too far. Once you cross that line, you can't go back. And that's the thing that kind of makes us special now, is that like, you know, for lack of a better word, like the kids like trust us. Like they know that, like people look at it and it's like, okay, that's authentic. Like it's real there. Because I mean, we're just doing stuff that we think is cool. But you know, once you have a brand that's like paying you and they're saying, hey, you have to go do this video and do it this way. And it's like, well, we don't want to do it, but it's like, it doesn't matter. You signed a piece of paper that says for the next 3 years, you're going to do what this brand wants you to do. Then it's like, at that point, like it's everything we've kind of worked for is flushed down the drain. And so, yeah, that's, I don't know. It'd have to like I said, more about the money, or less about the money, more about the creative freedom. Like we'd really have to be able to retain like freedom over, and, you know, creative ownership over what we're going to do and what we'd be able to do. Cause you'd think, okay, well, you get with this big brand, they probably have so many more resources, so much more money, like to, you know, we can go film a run video with lighting techs and permits and like do crazy stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you know, let's say we were to go with a brand, I'm going to say a random brand. Let's say we went with Brooks Running. Never actually done anything with Brooks, but I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, actually, okay, let's say we go with Nike.
Yeah, let's run that back.
Yeah, but let's say, okay, let's say we go with we go with Brooks Running. I'm sorry. But I think there's maybe only one or two brands we want to go with. But let's say we go with big brand, like some big brand. We could use their athletes way more regularly and easily. But yeah, I think it really just depends on opportunity. And I know that myself, Carter, and Matt, something we've talked about and really committed to is like, we're not going to sell ourselves short. And this early, like we'd be willing to, you know, kind of struggle to put the pieces together and to make this a full-time job for us for another year or so, or 2 years, in order to, you know, get to the end product of what we set out to do, versus, you know, getting complacent and you know, being allured by that financial security of, oh, we can get paid like actually every single month the same amount of money and get like benefits. I think, yeah, we're definitely in the market for making sure that we can still create dope content.
Like that.
Yeah.
So this summer you kind of like, I would say you like owned Eugene. You
Thank you.
basically
That was
just
the
took
goal.
over the city. Yeah. So what are your goals for next summer to kind of top that?
I think next summer, like, I mean, I don't think there's no telling. I think a lot of it, I think we want to continue to expand and grow. Like, obviously, if there's going to be an event in Eugene, we want to be able to do something cool for it. And fortunately for us, there is a lot of events in Eugene. But I think, you know, going to other events, like let's say a Chicago Marathon or a New York Marathon, or you know, the Nike Cross regional meets, or the Foot Locker regional meets, or a New Balance outdoor, and these other, you know, big events, and you know, really staking our claim there and taking that over. And yeah, like we're very West Coast dominant right now, California, Oregon, and Washington. But I think we, you know, might want to move more into the Southwest, like do some more events in Colorado, Arizona, move to the like Michigan. Then no, it's not the Southwest, but as we move to the Midwest, move to the East Coast, the South, you know, and really start to do stuff there. Cause I think what's more valuable than people watching a YouTube video is like them seeing the brand in person at an event and being like, oh, this is cool. Like I had a cool experience with this event. Cause that leaves more of a lasting impression than, you know, an Oregon long run video. Like, yeah, it's important to build fans, but it's also like equally, if not more important, to do real life stuff. And people will ask like, oh, you know, what kind of avenue would you say is next? And I think it's definitely more so real life, reality based events, versus I think YouTube and Instagram and that stuff will supplement what we're doing. But I think our number one goal is to always, or at least this year will always be to, you know, do really cool stuff like in real life, whether it be with an athlete, and then we end up filming it in a video. But like, let's say, what if we went skydiving with Sha'Carri, bro? Like that'd be crazy.
We want to get you carry on so bad.
Bro, that's like, I
I'm
mean,
trying to reach out to her agent, but they're shutting it down.
We had TT Terry on the magazine, and that's like, they're like, Sha'Carri was like reposted a new gen thing, and I was like, bro, is this real life? They because they're training partners. And so I was like, man, hopefully this is the end. I know she doesn't like the media that much, but you know, maybe TT can put in a good word for us.
That's what
I also think
she said, like she didn't like that, like the media weren't runners. They didn't like get the running perspective. So I'm just trying to be like, well, we are runners.
Like, oh, I run.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I also think, part of our other perspective of taking over is, really breaking more into the sprint industry or the sprint game.
Yeah.
And then of course comes the throws and the jumps, and it's all, brick by brick. But I think sprints and distance, at least when you think of track and field, those are the two biggest kind of market shares. So I think, yeah, wanting to do more sprints and appeal to a larger audience than just a bunch of skinny white kids who run cross country. I think part of that may be me and us wanting to grow the brand. Other parts of it may be like, oh, how do we appeal to a larger audience and brands who of course have their quotas and stuff that they have to meet. And kind of with how everything is. And so, in a good way, diversity driven these days, it's like, okay, how do we, play to this and use this to our advantage? And it's like, well, we can grow our brand, but it also, I think, helps grow the sport at the end of the day. When you're breaking into it and stuff. So that was like a big step for us, was, yeah, like having TT Terry, like this beautiful black girl on the cover of our last magazine. She's a sprinter and she, world champion. And it's like, that's, huge for us in a brand that, really started off with Cooper and Cole just being these, like I said, skinny white distance runners. But now next we can get people are hound our DMs about throws. And I'm just like, in due time. But we'll see. But yeah, I think, I'm wanting to take over more events and more event groups is really kind of what our plan for 23 will be. And just drop some sick ass merch, bro. Like some crazy shit that like you think of like Crazy Supreme and like golf swing accessories. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
That's some
Like,
funny.
I want to create
We
like,
look at a new gen brick.
dude, that'd be no, the like right now, like we're working on like these cool like corduroy hats and like these like a baseball jersey. Like it's just like different type stuff. It doesn't always have to be running stuff. And then doing more kits. I think a big piece for us too moving forward is like we really want to get a pro team. Whether that be based in Eugene, whether it be based somewhere else, whether it starts off as one pro team and in 5 years there's 3 of them in different locations, kind of and they're all built around that 10-man elite content model. I think that's a huge goal for us. Performance is credibility in this sport, and I think that we really want to be able to also have a lot of great personalities in there, but kind of be able to handpick and be the architects of these teams, of these vibes that we can create and build content around it. Let's say there's a team in Eugene, there's a team in, I don't even know, Houston, and there's a team in Miami, or I wouldn't pick either of those 2 second cities, but I'm just saying it in terms of like a regional thing. But yeah, I think that's a big piece for us that we want to complete, but I think it'll happen at the right time. A lot of it's interesting now just because there's so much change going on in Eugene, and like, yeah, people are moving around, like new coaches coming in, other coaches leaving. And it's like, for me, it seems like, oh, this would be the perfect opportunity for us to strike and to do something. But it's like, if it happens, it happens. I think, it'll happen at the right time. I'd rather have it happen in a couple of years when it's meant to be versus rush it and have it happen now. And then it, disbands in 18 months and it wasn't that sick and it ends up being kind of shitty, versus if it happens in 3 years, then it's like just perfect timing. Yeah.
I think that could be a huge way that like the sport itself can kind of, I think Worlds gave good momentum towards sport growth, maybe, but I think that's going to be maybe one of the biggest ways to make that sustainable is like you said, like, let's say you have one team and it splits into multiple different groups under the same kind of banner, and you're throughout different spots. Like, and if you follow a good content model, you show people, like runners' personalities in that sense, like team members' personalities. I think it could be a huge way for it to grow. Like if the Tour de France had that kind of model, or not, like Tours, I don't know, a rough example of like they have a ton of teams. They don't necessarily need to be Trek, like a bike model, like a Nike, or something. Like there could be a U.S. Postal Service track team.
That'd be so sick. Yeah, right? I want to get Visa and United Airlines. I need to get on the phone with United Airlines.
Emirates.
The deal. They pay for the flights, man. Anywhere we want to go, and we'll throw their logo on literally everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think
like expansion through brands like that could be huge.
Yeah, and I think too, once you, let's say, have like 2 or 3, or you have 2 pro teams, and it's like, okay, well then you you put on a meet where they can kind of compete against each other. And let's say you have 3 or 4, and then that's like a kind of a regular size meet. And then your other teams, like your Brooks Beasts or your Hoka NAZ or these other teams, they want to come compete too, because it's like naturally competitive. And if they're running fast times there, that's where people are going to want to go. And so I think then that almost creates a circuit in some ways where it could really expand from there. But yeah, it's all a process, and it's a brick by brick type thing. It's not going to happen overnight. And I think a lot of times people in the track world think that it's going to be an overnight switch where it's like, oh, track wasn't popular, now it's popular. We got DK Metcalf to race 100. I use that example a lot, but it's like, because it's just so easy. It's like, who knows what they paid for his appearance fee, but they probably could have paid a lot of money to their athletes for that. Or maybe they didn't even pay him for an appearance fee. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Also, the deeper into this game I get, the more I realize there's a lot that I don't know, and a lot that I think I know, but then I'll talk to someone and they're just like, you're an idiot. And it's some 50-year-old industry veteran.
Yeah.
But the industry, I don't know. I love, shout out to the Butter Boys, but the lingo we use to describe this, the running world, the industry and all this stuff, it's we want it to be parallel to sports and rap, where it's this whole culture going on, and people are beefing with each other, and there's
I was gonna ask, there's no running beef right now. I'm not.
There isn't. I try to deliver some smoke on Twitter.
Yeah. All right. We need some. I need some context to the Oval magazine situation.
Oh, dude. Okay, that was
I don't know what happened. I couldn't find it on Twitter.
Okay, that shit was half of it was me just being wanting more than anything for someone to bite at something. But also our guy Jan Figueroa, probably one of the stars of the summer, in our incredibly small niche that hopefully is growing. It is growing. But they, he worked for the Oval, or I guess worked. They had 30 or 40 employees, but
what?
I don't know.
They had 30.
I don't know if they made
an article for them.
I don't know if they made money. That's the thing.
Okay.
And so but they would have all these people who'd be like, oh, I'm an employee, and they'd have these big staff meetings and stuff, and I'd be like, bro, this is a joke. Why do you they take themselves too seriously, or they did. And that's no disrespect to the people who were involved in it, because I've never met them personally. But they we would always mess around with Jan and be like, Jan, you have to denounce the Oval, because he would be doing all this stuff with us, and be like, Jan, you have to denounce the Oval. And I tweeted at him about it, and he replied, and he the shh emoji, and he's coming soon. And then apparently, and we also another lingo term we'll use, we got shooters everywhere, versus you want to talk about people, or you just want to talk about people with cameras shooting photos or videos. Literally shooters everywhere. Got shooters inside the crib, bro, staying there. But they
10 shooters out front right now. I sleep
literally, bro. We roll up to an event 8 shooters deep. And so we'll we had a bunch of kids from our camp and stuff in their Discord, and they'd all send us screenshots whenever stuff would go down. It was hilarious. We had the little internal moles, but or not in their Discord, in their Slack channel. But they basically they were mad at Jan for saying that he was going to denounce them, and I was oh, they fired him because he went to the Butter Boys tailgate at NCAA. Is this is
okay. I thought
justice for Jan. I used that as the launch pad for it, because I was oh, okay, this will make me this will be this is funny. And people were just oh, really? Dang, that's messed up.
I thought it. So I woke up, I saw the tweets that day. I was
it was me and Joe Hill. We were in Flagstaff. It's right after NCAA's, and I woke up. I went to bed after tweeting some stuff, and I woke up the next morning, and I was like, Joe, I'm about to assault the Oval right now. and we have this group chat where it's me, the 3 Butter Boys, where it's Ruben Reyna, Ryan Murphy, Carter Persine, Anderson Boa, who does content.
Ruben on his official, by the way. I see all the Butter Boys. I was wait, I had this as a recruit.
Ruben is a G. But yeah, and then a couple other Jan, Anderson Bobo, myself, Matt Wisner, Joe Hale, and Chrissy Gear. And we basically were just dude, we'll just get in these moods, especially early in the summer, where we would just pump out content through this group chat where we'd each be making edits and tweeting them all, and just this insane production line, where we'd be I'd be Jan, make this graphic on your phone, and he'd make me a the Oval cuts Jan Figueroa signed by New Gen.
I saw that waiting for a ESPN type
a Woj bomb.
Woj bomb. Yeah.
And so we did we were just pumping all that stuff out, and I was assaulting them. There was one thing too I posted where I was just I wouldn't even call it nasty in the grand scheme of things, but because it's track, it's people get so sensitive, or like you say one thing, people will be like, oh, that's so bad. But it was like, they have made some post where it was like, by the numbers, most popular names at NCAAs. And it's like
Yeah, I
7 people
remember
named
that.
Rachel, 6 people named Anna. And I was just like, yo, like this, the content pushing the sport forward, like definitely throwing like a jab
Remember
at him.
that,
But
yeah.
it's like, at the same time, like, I don't know if I was going to do it anyways. And so I was just, yeah, launching all this stuff, and we had people joining in. And then we had a kid from our Discord named Kevin who just would like cook us up crazy memes, bro. Like, he would just like funny type Gen Z, like TikTok sped up music type memes. And I was like, this is perfect. And I would basically like was just messaging him being like, yo, dog, like I need these memes like now, like ASAP. And he would send them to me and then I'd post them. And we just kind of kept going at it. And then, but yeah, that's kind of the whole context behind it. It was more so just us like all dicking around like in our group chat. But then we were just like, oh, let's do it. Like, and I don't know. I'm also the type to not to get philosophical, but you have to be the change you want to see in the world. Shout out to Gandhi. But that was one thing where it's like, people, I really want to see more instigators and beef and stuff on Twitter and Instagram with the running world. And it's like, okay, like all like the other day I was going off, I was like, Bowerman running camp could never, like Union Athletics Club running camp could never, like Smoky Mountain running camp could never, like all these running camps. And I was like, I want the smoke, bro. But it's also gets to a point too, and I think the better my product gets, the more like I'm gonna openly, and I think there's still a long way to go before it gets to a point where I'm really pleased with it. But I think, because the bar is kind of low for people doing things differently, it's been able to make somewhat of an impact, or not even an impact, but somewhat of a wave now, at least within our little like younger niche. And so it's like, I'm gonna like, I don't know. I also just am kind of a troll, like for lack of a better word. Like I just like to, I'm sarcastic.
Shay's a troll.
Yeah, like I don't, the word troll is like has a weird connotation to it, but I don't know. Like I don't take things very seriously, especially if they're on the internet. I don't think you can. I think that's how you end up like, I don't know. You just take stuff out of context. It's like whatever's said on the internet is said on the internet. Like it's not a real place. And so yeah, that's kind of the whole thing behind the Oval, was like us joking around that like Jan had gotten fired. And when we were like, okay, our guy Elijah Agers, who's also a photographer, does stuff with the Oval, and we'd be like, Elijah, you're next, bro. Elijah, you got an announcement. He's like, nah. And he was like, nah, bro. And I was like, fuck it, bro, I'm gonna post that shit saying you'd announced anyways.
What did
Like,
you think of the whole like Westfly era?
the Westfly era was, dude, I was thinking about this the other day. I think Everett Smolders met him in person. Nice guy, like good guy. Also definitely a troll. But I think, it's funny to me because he hasn't posted or done anything in a long time yet. It's people still kind of talk about it a little bit. And I think that just goes to show that, how fresh of an idea it really was in the running world. And I don't want to, be here. I'm not like advocating for things to be like that, because I think there could have been a more elegant and graceful way to go about it. At least but I think in terms of stirring the pot, like for our younger generation, that was, something that people resonated with and felt like, like, oh, this kind of makes sense to see something like this. There's stuff like this in other industries and other cultures. But I think a lot of people got really upset at it and were like actually mad and actually butthurt, which to me was like, dude, you're ridiculous. Like, how are you going to be like, this is like, there are some people on Twitter who would be like, this is misogynistic and homophobic and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, like, this is like, you can totally tell some people are 38, 39 years old. And like the internet they had is different than the internet we have, where it's like, you go on the rap on Instagram, or like any like DJ Academics, like No Jumper, any of those comments, bro, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like a total like cesspool. Or even the Sports Center comments, like it's totally different. And it's like, that's real life, that's culture, not, this sheltered version that the running world is, where it's just a bunch of people kind of stuck in their ways. Like, you really want to change the sport, adapt to what everyone else is doing. Don't like, keep it in the same vein as it's always been. But yeah, I think that it, for better or for worse, kind of, it caught people's attention. And I think that some people wanted to recognize it, other people didn't. But I think the fact that it, I could think of a lot of other things that came and went. a lot faster than Westfly, but people still, will bring it up every once and again, or you'll see someone wearing a t-shirt or something. And it's like, I think that just speaks to how different of an idea it was in the running world at the time.
So I agree with you and I disagree with you. So for context, my first like exposure to you and finding your stuff was that podcast Tracks that did with you guys. Was it Tracks?
Okay.
Remember that? Like you guys did like
Yeah.
one. It was you, Smolders, right?
Dude, yeah, okay.
And
That was a
then
crazy time in my life.
someone
Man. I do
else.
not stand by any of the things I said in
Bro,
that.
I don't even remember anything you said. I just remember he came on with his shitty little suit
Dude, he
and
was like
I
making
remember
like
that.
and he was saying some shit, and I was like, "Fuck this kid! Like this kid sucks." And then I was like, "I don't know him. I met him, and he was a genuine guy when I met him, and
yeah,
that almost pissed me off more because I was
I
like,
feel that.
this is like I would respect it if this was real. If
Yeah.
you were like, I've said it 1,000 times on here. I'll say it again. Like, I want the genuine, like, I want something to
Yeah.
be real. That's what in
Mhm.
other sports makes
I
me
feel
like
that.
and not like guys. Like fighters. I'm a huge fighting fan.
Okay.
I don't like the fighters. A lot of them he likes specifically. I know he's a big Colby Covington guy because he's like posted about it. I'm like, I don't like that guy. It's fake. I don't like the fakeness of it. Like, be like that, but let it be real. I don't know.
It's
Okay.
like WWE kind of. Like
Yeah,
there's-
yeah. I want, like, if you're gonna be a tough guy, be a tough guy.
Guy.
Like,
But
don't
don't.
be a
Yeah.
meek guy.
Don't Vince McMahon it, bro.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very, very fair take. And yeah, that was my thing is, yeah, we were down filming with Cinta Visa actually at Ole Miss earlier this fall. And I like made it a point because I was like, I'd never met swimmers before. Like we're in Oxford. I was like, okay, like I'll go say what's up. And we're hanging out. And he's like, he said something. He was like, yeah, dude, my dad thinks like my online persona is like a douchebag. and I was just like laughing. I was just like, bro, like I just thought it was funny because like, like parents are going to be the ones to tell you something straight up.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
and I was just like, damn, bro, like that's actually really funny that your dad said that. But he's just like, fuck it. But now, I mean, dude, yeah, but like I said, nice guy. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. And that was like a interesting time that podcast, because it was, very much. And I remember he had said some joke where it was like about, dude, and we were just like, yeah, man, it's crazy. Where it was about like Anne Frank and like Sam Parsons and like World War II. And I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure right there. I paused it. I was in my room. I went in the hallway. I was like, Dad, I got a new like mortal enemy that I don't even know right now. Like this kid sucks. But I don't know. I guess we'll never. Is he still running? Does anyone know?
He does, dude. If you're following him on Twitter, bro, he's super into this app called Steppen.
Jay showed me some. It's like
Steppen.
It's on that Steppen wave.
Dude, Steppen is like really a lot of the post collegiate guys in Portland, like kind of like Craig Nowak and like Kellen Manley, the guy who's dating Krisha Schweizer, and like that whole scene. They've all been into Steppen like probably since like this winter. And I was like, so I heard about it and I've heard other people get into it. Basically, it's like a thing where you like run and like earn crypto, but like yeah, and you can like buy shoes with like a certain coin. I don't know. I'm more so like give me cash. But hey, if it works for some people, it works for some people. But yeah, he's like super into that whole wave. Like he'll be like tweeting shit in Japanese, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Hang on. Is he?
He's got like a crypto following too. Like some of his tweets, you'll scroll down, you'll see all the like AVIs of the NFTs.
Yeah.
And they call him like Everett, like they know him by Everett. It's funny.
It's funny.
That is funny.
He doesn't go by Westfly on the crypto world.
No.
The crypto walls.
Yeah, there's just like a new Westfly announcement that it's no longer running affiliated, it's just crypto.
Yeah, it's just crypto.
Dude, I want more of Kosha, bro. He was a good character.
He was a nice guy. I talked to him for a bit after nationals. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, no, I don't know. And that's, I think, also points true to the thing of like, if you just put yourself out there with you and the people around you, like you can become your own character.
Yeah.
And you can become, people can start to relate to that. Yeah, I'd love to see a Georgetown distance vlogs. The carrying the footsteps of Daddy Spencer Brown.
We're stepping it up.
We got big plans this year.
This is probably one of the last ones we'll film where we're not together.
Nice. Yeah, Hills and 2's video content.
Will be
like
good.
Vlogs. That'd be cool, man.
Step it up.
Hell yeah.
So, we want expansion's the goal right now.
That's always a great goal.
Shay, do you want to do what's your mom got for Ben?
All right, yeah. My mom asked, what is your go-to McDonald's order?
Go to McDonald's order. It really depends. There's two. Actually, well, the main entree just changes. Sometimes I'll do a 10 to 20 piece, depending on how hungry I am, with fries and this is the kicker, medium mango pineapple smoothie.
That's a wild card.
That is a wild card, but it's gas, bro. It's gas.
Right,
it's good.
What kind of sauce you rocking with those nuggets?
Sweet and sour, for
sour,
sure.
Yeah, if it ain't sweet and sour, get off this call.
And then if I'm at Chick-fil-A though, low-key slept on Chick-fil-A sauce, Polynesian. It's the purple one. It's good. But yeah, or I'll do like the 2 cheeseburger combo with the mango pineapple smoothie is so.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I'll try
gas. Tell him I sent you, bro. Tell him.
I have McDonald's 30-second drive away. I'll pull up. I'll say Ben Crawford, crawfish, some number at
37@gmail.com. The funny thing is, like, when I go into like meetings with like companies and then it's like
Phil Knight.
I have like Ben at newgenerationtf.com now, but like I use that like off the rip, but so many people have like already emailed them with the crawfish 37 email that it's just like, I don't know. Part of me is just like, fuck it, bro. Like, it's an email, like, who cares? But people like say something, like, I'll like be at a hotel, like giving them like my email, and they'll like laugh. I'm like, I literally made this when I was in 5th grade. Like, fuck you, desk attendant at the Birmingham, Alabama Marriott. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot of like T-Bone Mac usernames.
Okay.
Well, that was an embarrassing time of my life. And then what I had when the Key and Peele sketch, the like Timothy one was a big
dude, that was a middle school classic.
Yeah, my Instagram name was Tim_Othy.
That's so good. Yeah, crazy username thing. Shay on Twitter, just at Shay.
Yeah, wild story with that one, but
that shit. Barack Obama follows him.
Damn.
Yeah, we got some gas in the followers.
That's fire, bro.
Obama sees this kid tweeting about his acne clearing up.
Obama's like, love that.
Yeah. One day
Obama's intern.
Yeah, that Barack retweet.
Yeah, dude. Also, yeah, like I said, huge Mets fan, Tim. I know from just Twitter you're a big Mets guy too. But
I'm a big Mets
guy.
That's where I get like all my Mets content is Twitter.
Dude, I love I played on the Mets T-ball team when I was in like kindergarten, 1st grade, and I was like, oh, yo, like Mets and the Jets, those names rhyme. Like, that's sick. Like, those are my teams. And so Jets fan sucks. Being a Jets fan sucks.
You see this?
That's so good, bro. Damn. Yeah, and but the Mets, this year is looking good for us, man. I'm not gonna lie. DeGrom's back. DeGrom's back. Like, we're doing good, bro. Pete's crushing it. But no, I went to, and my dad would work in New York a decent amount. Like, he would like do business back there. So I've probably been to Citi Field like, I don't know, half a dozen times.
I've been to a bunch of ballparks. Like,
Citi Field is nice. Citi Field is really nice. It's also just easy to get to with the 7 train. But yeah, man, I was really bummed in 2015. I like really wanted to go to the World Series when they made it.
I went. Yeah.
And I remember my dad being like, oh, like they've got like a good young squad, like great young hitters, great young pitchers. Like, they'll be back. We'll go. And I'll, damn it, bro. Like, it's not the same.
We went to the game on Halloween. Conforto hit 2 home runs.
Bro.
For our little section, because we were like the row right above the bullpen.
That's
so
sick.
Like Bartolo Colon was under us. We were like, come on, Bart. Like, the whole time it was funny.
That's so good.
Like playing
catch. Yeah, man. I went to the games because they played the Dodgers in the 1st round that year. And so I went to the 3 Dodger games that played at home. And one of those games was because Daniel Murphy went on like a tear that playoff.
Yeah, that's when he
hit like 7 games, like 7 straight games, like a home run or something. And one of those games, like he had like 2 or 3 home runs in the game, and it was just wild. And the Mets won, and I was like, this is amazing. It's a tortured fan base. It really is. But it's diehards. It's a bunch of diehards out there. And I definitely think the Mets are probably the team outside of running that I follow the most. I would say the Mets and the LA Clippers. The Jets, I could really give 2 shits about. I like haven't really cared about them since after like Mark Sanchez left. Because I was like, oh, like they're good. And then now they just like keep drafting quarterbacks and they all suck. And then except for the mother lover, Zach Wilson, but yeah, definitely love me my New York sports. Love the Mets, definitely. Yeah, I don't know, who knows, maybe we'll go catch a Mets game one day. But yeah, I would love nothing more for them to do well this year. They got Scherzer, DeGrom, he's back. DeGrom, best pitcher in baseball, I'll say it. Yeah,
Shay, you know all this? You
Y'all
studied
are speaking Morse
taking
code right
notes?
now.
You're
I have
named after
no.
Shea Stadium, bro. You're named
Yeah,
after.
I get tagged in like Shea Stadium tweets like literally
At
probably like
Shea.
once a week. Yeah,
That's so good.
I should know, but
Yeah, no, I follow a lot of other sports just besides running. I mean, I kind of came up watching a lot of sports. Like both my brother and my dad were like, they'd always like watch college football, like basketball, NFL, baseball. Like I had season tickets to the Angels, which also inexcusable, bro. Two best players in baseball and they suck. Like literally the two generational talents.
And no one even knows who no one pays attention to them.
Like Mike Trout like is gonna be there the rest of his career. Ohtani, literally Babe Ruth Jr.
Yeah.
And it's like they suck, but it is what it is. But yeah, that was, I don't know. That's why I see a lot of stuff that happens in these other sports, and I'm like, dude, this could so easily happen in running, but I don't know. That's why I draw a lot of inspiration from.
Yeah, absolutely. The expansion model of like being a major sport franchise, essentially. But okay, so the question from my mom. My mom has asked, where do you feel most understood? Is it behind the lens or in front of the lens?
I feel most understood. That's tough because I would say off the rip, like without those two options, I would say I feel most understood like at a running event or at a cross country or a track meet, like where there's just people around who like know about new gen and know like, get the significance of what we're trying to do. But I would say, honestly, I would probably say more so now in front of the lens, just because like, I don't know, I'm just like able to, before I'd always like be filming and I'd be like, hey, say this, 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 and this. And people would like say it. But now it's like, well, I'm just going to, too many times people would just fuck it up. So I'm just going to say it. Like, I'm just going to film me. I'm going to say like what we're doing because you couldn't do it right. But yeah, I think, I don't know, but it's also a mix. I feel like I still, even if someone else films, I still edit the videos just because I know the story that I want to tell with it. So yeah, it's a mix, but I would say besides those two options, I feel most understood in the running world. That's also why I like have such a passion for like wanting to like make it so much more accessible and like be able to like create hopefully more jobs and like more of an actual viable market. It's because it's like I know there's a million other people who feel the same way as me, where it's like that's just like the running world, like that's just where you naturally fit in. Like those are just like your people. And so it's like, okay, like right now there's few and far the opportunities to like actually be able to do something sustainably and like stay in that industry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to play a game?
You sure?
Let's play a game.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna do for this one, like I'm gonna give you a topic.
Also, heads up, I have 7 minutes left before I have to go to another call.
All right, we'll do this real quick. We'll wrap up. I'm gonna give you a topic. You give me your favorite on that topic and your least favorite.
Okay, easy.
Both you and Shay. All right. Pro running team / groups.
Favorite on OAC, least favorite Hanson's Brooks or Brooks Beast.
Shay.
I'm honestly just gonna ditto those. Those are great.
No, least favorite, maybe the Puma group, just because it's like, I don't know, they're so new still, but yeah, I don't know.
That's funny. Okay. Running brands, not teams per se.
Brand, I would say favorite Nike, least favorite wildcard Salomon.
They used to make really cool like ultra running videos, and I like started running. I was like,
yeah. Or maybe we're going for like a more, I don't know, maybe Saucony.
Yeah.
I don't hate Saucony though.
Yeah. I hate Saucony. I'm just gonna I've always not liked their shoes. They just suck. Favorite, obviously the swoosh.
Yeah. It's hard not to like Nike. Maybe I'd say least favorite Brooks. I don't know. Brooks PR is cool though. I'm conflicted.
I don't know, man.
Okay. Fast food chain.
Say again?
Fast food chain.
Fast food chain, favorite Chick-fil-A, least favorite Burger King.
What do you got, Shay?
Chipotle favorite, least favorite, probably Wendy's.
Wow. Oh, dude,
Wendy's is bang.
Dude, I've had some burgers there that like taste like rubber, bro.
Bro,
they look like rubber too.
Their burgers are good, bro.
Yeah, they're like real burgers compared to
Fresh, never
McDonald's.
frozen. Okay, if we're going with Chick-fil-A as a fast food chain, I would say Chick-fil-A is or not Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. I eat Chipotle at least
They're like a tier above.
I
Like
eat Chipotle at least 3 or 4 times a week, like no joke.
you
Like,
don't
it's
want to know how
it's fast
frequently
food for
House
sure.
at school went to Chipotle last year.
Like it's just easy and it's like not unhealthy.
We probably like if there were like what 300 days we were at school, our house probably like someone in our 4-man house probably had Chipotle. What 275 of those? Like,
Dude, we're living closer to Chipotle this year, so
I know now we
we'll
live like
probably-
2 blocks away rather than like
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
I know.
I love that though.
It'll be a problem. But okay, we'll wrap up one more. Running cities.
Running cities, I feel
Cities in general.
cities in general, bro. At least some of the favorites that I've gone to. New Orleans was really sick. I went there recently. And I think what else is a good city for a good time? Austin's pretty cool. But I think if we're just going cities overall, like not running related, I would have to go LA, least favorite, or LA favorite, least favorite, either Phoenix or yeah, I'd probably say least favorite Phoenix or El Paso.
El Paso.
Rip Ethan, bro.
Years ago, like one of my best friends.
He would agree with you,
guy
though.
at Georgetown. He's from El Paso.
Damn.
El Paso's become a joke on our team. A lot of El Paso jokes are made.
But it's a good thing to be a bit of a joke.
What do you got, Shay?
Least favorite, probably Tulsa.
Okay.
Don't even need to explain that one. And favorite, I don't know if Laguna Beach that's not a city,
Laguna
right?
Beach is beautiful, bro. It's a
Oh,
city.
you're
Yeah.
Rob's, right? You stayed at Rob.
Yeah, Emerald Bay,
Dude,
baby.
Robert, dude,
eBay.
yeah, that okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob lives in a really nice area.
Yeah, it's okay. Stay in
Yeah,
the
it's
guest
all
house,
right.
Shay?
Yeah, I stayed in the guest house. That
On like the cliff over the ocean.
was nice, man. I'm not gonna drop a number on the house, but it was
Let's
know,
see if
it's-
Rob. We won't tell him that we said this, but we'll see if he gets this far.
let's just say it wasn't 6 or 7 figures.
Oh my
There's
God.
5. Broke ass motherfucker, bro.
Janitor closet ass.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, man. I think damn, now I feel like might have to come out to DC, see what's up while we're making our rounds this fall or this winter.
Shay
yeah.
is getting a separate place so we don't have to share a bedroom, so we're gonna have plenty of space in our
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Me and Joe Hale might have to pull up.
Yeah.
Facts.
Well,
That-
we'll let you go,
Some
man.
content.
Thanks for hopping on.
yeah, thanks for hopping
Of course,
on. That
guys.
was
Thanks for
fun.
having me.